I just want to start off this video by saying that I did not come up or find any of these things on my own. They're all from videos and tweets and different people, and I will link every single source that I have used in the link below. This video is simply because I have questions. There's so many questions I feel that are still unanswered, and I want to share them, and hopefully you might know the answer to them. And if you do, please comment below and give me some other videos to look at, because I have nonstop thought about this all day. So, okay, let's start the video. Okay, so there's been so many theories with the whole 21 Pilots hiatus and when they're coming back. A lot of them have been around like some type of April date. Oh, like they're gonna come back the 13th, the 19th, this number, that number. But this is not even a theory. This is a find. This is real life, cold, hard facts. So if you go to the 21 Pilots store and you click on the Vessel tab, for both Blurryface and Vessel, they have little like compilation videos of just the music videos from that album. At the end of the Vessel compilation video is like, it ends with the car radio, you know, him falling off the stage at the end of the music video, and there's static. Well, they added some type of text to the static. You can check on YouTube. The car radio, like original music video, has no text in the static. This compilation video for some reason does, and apparently it wasn't always like that. I have no idea when this changed. Basically, someone figured out that it says some type of letters, and they were like, oh, it looks like a link to somewhere. Someone figured it out that it says DEMA.org.info. So if you type that into your web browser, it leads you to this page, which is like a mock error 404 page that you normally get whenever you type in like the wrong address to something and there's no like actual address to whatever you typed in. This is definitely mocked because it says a bunch of stuff on it. But if you look down at the very end, there's a violation code. So this violation code, I have no idea what it means. That is my first question. What do these strand of numbers mean? They have to mean something. But someone figured it out that if you put these strand of numbers at the end of the link, it leads you to somewhere. Well, I tried that. I typed in DMA.org.info/the strand of numbers, and I still got to the error 404 page. I followed a link that somebody else had tweeted, and this was the link that I had to like at least type in to get to the next page. So I had to type in dma.org.info/found/153-98642_14/clancy.html. As you can see, this is the web page. This is the web page everyone has been talking about. You can see the first image. All right, so there's 5 images going down the line. The first one is of something called a Tower of Silence. We're gonna get to that in a bit. If you look next to it, there's a strand of numbers and letters, and it says 013 space 01 space moon space 08. That obviously is a date, January 8th, 2013. That's when Vessel came out. And then if you keep going down, there's the release date for Regional at Best and the release date for Self-Titled. So people kind of noticed that the pictures next to it kind of related to the album in some way. Like the Regional at Best one, it's a picture of a child. What's on the Regional at Best cover? A child. The Self-Titled one had birds, which they kind of look like they're on a Tower of Silence. The birds obviously represent I'll Fight This Birds, the last song on the Self-Titled album. But I'm kind of curious. I don't really understand what the first image has to do with Vessel. So it's kind of like a graph of this thing called a Tower of Silence, which again I will get to in a second. But if you look in the middle, there's 9 dots, which obviously like Blurryface. So I'm kind of confused as to why it's next to the Vessel date, and also there is no Blurryface date. So those are my next questions. So if you keep going down, the next date is Tyler's birthday, December 1st, and next to it is like this whole warning thing. But the biggest thing is the 3 big words on it, which say failed perimeter escape. They begin with what? FPE. What does FPE stand for? The few, the proud, the emotional. So that definitely, I don't know if it means anything necessarily, but I think it was just like, yeah, this is connected to 21 Pilots somehow. Now Josh's is very interesting. The next one is obviously Josh's birthday, but it's a letter. And this letter, like, read it for yourself. I won't go through the whole thing, but it definitely has, I think it's just a giant sneak peek for the era. It's basically a preface for what this era and this album's about to be about. So basically this letter, it goes into detail about this community or like universe or like some type of territory called DEMA, which is kind of like weird, which we'll get to again. There's definitely a lot of interesting things in this letter, which just go read it. But one of the things I noticed was that they mentioned the word or like the number 9 a lot. Literally, the first sentence says, "The perplexities of DEMA did not occur to me until my 9th year." This was in a video, so like I didn't even think of this theory. 21 Pilots was founded in 2009. It's 2018, hence it's 21 Pilots' 9th year. So continuing on, he talks about 9 bishops of DEMA. So there's some type of like 9 leaders, I guess, of this place. I think that this has to do obviously with the 9 circles on Blurryface. The reason I believe this is because in this video that I watched, which again will be linked below, someone I guess zoomed in to the image and like of that first image next to the vessel date, and in those 9 dots there was like names or like some type of word on top of each. The first one, so like the heavy dirty soul circle, on top of it had the word Keons. And in this image that like I'm putting like right here, it said that each word was like some type of strand of letters from each song. I didn't really like learn a lot about that theory or like that side of all of this, but if you know a video that talks about it, link it below. So anyways, in the letter he talks about like one of the bishops, Keons, and he speaks really highly of him. So I think it's like, this is just me now, I feel that there's something to do with heavy dirty soul, because he talks about Keons, the bishop, in the letter a lot and about like how great he is. And I just think it's interesting that Keons was on top of the Heavy Dirty Soul circle, because Heavy Dirty Soul was the last music video that they have since released, and in that music video Blurryface was defeated or died or whatever you want to think. So there's definitely some relation with that, which I think that's deep. But anyways, my questions kind of like around that were like, 1, does it have anything to do with the music video? And 2, like, is Keons good? Like, they kind of talk about him in a good way in the letter, but at the same time he's like, I don't know how I feel about this place, DEMA. It's not what I thought it was. So like, maybe Keons isn't good. So anyways, if you look on the side of the letter, there's 2 things written. One of them says west wall blocked, and the other one says east is up. So I relate to the whole east thing with the new logo, like the new thing being to have the slash through the E's. I think there's some type of correlation with east and the E's, but I'm not sure what it is yet. So if anyone else like kind of thinking the same, I don't know. Lastly with this letter, who the heck is Clancy? The first thing I thought of was like Nigel. Anyone from the Vessel era remember Nigel? I mean, I kind of thought that there was like Nigel kind of being the narration for the Vessel like show, then there was Blurryface being the narration for the next, you know, run of Blurryface shows. So is this Clancy gonna be like the next narration for like this era? But I'm also kind of like, is Clancy supposed to be Josh then, because of the whole it being next to his birthday? I don't know. Anyways, let's go back to the first image. Like I said, this is something called a Tower of Silence. Why it's next to the vessel date, I have no idea. I haven't been able to find anything on why it's related. So anyways, that's all I have for that one. The next picture though, things get interesting. I know I haven't said like what a Tower of Silence is yet. Go watch, I'll link it down below. There's a video that this guy did explaining what a Tower of Silence is and like how it relates to pilots and stuff. So go watch that, or just look it up on Wikipedia. But I mean, I will explain it a tad bit, but if you're like getting curious, go watch it. So anyways, the next picture, the regional best picture, it's a picture of a child. Well, someone smartly enough Google searched that image and they found out that it was this image of a child with a mathematician named Andre Wheel. So it's this French mathematician, which like, I was kind of like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? Like, ugh, I don't want to do math. There's 3 big things with this dude. One is that he was part of a mathematical group called the Bourbaki group, pronunciation, I don't really know, that was made up of 9 people. That goes back to the whole 9 theory, like what is up with this number? 2 being that, I don't know how true this one is, but I saw it in one of the videos I'm gonna link below. Apparently somewhere states that the Bourbaki or whatever group mathematically proved that God was real, and we all know that the boys are like super big Christians, so that's kind of like another little tie. 3 is the biggest tie, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, ugh. So the group, the Bourbaki whatever group, created the null sign. The null sign. This is the null sign. That right there, there, and all over the freaking album. Ah. So basically this null sign is the big O with the slash that everyone associates with 21 Pilots. This guy, his math group, created this. So like that was just the biggest like, wow, they put way too much thought into this. So anyways, my only thing with that is I want to know if there's any specific reason with the whole child, like why they showed the child instead of like just Andre. Was it because they wanted us to search? I mean, probably the whole thing is, you know, come find me and whatnot. Like this is just one giant scavenger hunt. It's not as easy as the blurryface era when it was just a Twitter account. No, we have to actually go searching. Let's go on to the next one. So the self-titled picture, it's a picture of birds and they look like they're on a tower of silence, which is also known as a DEMA. I think it's pretty similar. But basically this tower of silence thing, if you didn't go and watch the video like I told you to, is a place that some like old culture back in like BC era or whatever would make this big like almost like Colosseum type place, and they would put dead bodies in it. Basically the reason behind it was they were trying to get rid of the bodies this way because they were believed that there was like demons like rushing to the dead bodies, and like this was like the safest way to get rid of them. And by them putting them in this like big dome thing, tower thing, vultures would go and eat at them. Basically they were saying the safest way to get rid of bodies was to let birds eat it, which like, I mean, I guess back then it was. But anyways, everyone thinks that's super interesting because the whole Isle of Flightless Birds thing. So there's definitely some connection with that. Another person, I don't remember where I heard this one from. It was about like back to the whole Andre picture with the child, was that they were thinking that maybe they put the child as the picture because I guess the children would get put more towards the center in the Tower of Silence thing, and that because they were in the center they would get eaten first. Something with that. I don't really know, but I think it just has to do with the whole regional at best thing, but who knows. So anyways, let's go back to the whole date thing. So why is there the word moon next to everything? Basically, I've been following this Twitter account at top__today. Go follow them. That's where I've been finding everything. Basically, they realized that during that meet and greet, during the whole Tour de Columbus art show, Josh was wearing a shirt with like a half a moon on it. And it said something interesting. Someone was able to zoom in and actually tell because like I couldn't earlier. But basically it says, just because we cannot see the whole does not mean it is not there. Just because we are not perfect does not mean we will not be. What that means, I don't know. I mean, like the Twitter account basically said it means something along the lines of just because a piece of us are there doesn't mean we aren't still a whole. And this kind of has to do with the whole thing of why Josh has kind of been a little more outgoing than Tyler during this hiatus. Basically, it's this whole theory that Josh isn't on hiatus and only Tyler is. I don't think it has to do with them like breaking up or anything. I mean, fingers crossed. I think it's just kind of like, you know, Josh is a little more outgoing. He has a house in LA. He's previously and or is still dating Debbie Ryan, a celebrity. But this is the, like it's in the first video that I'm linking below. This is when my jaw dropped. Like it hard dropped to the floor. Just watch this video. This is a video of Josh at the APMA Awards in July of 2017. So after Tour de Columbus, accepting an award by himself. Just go watch.
We're a two-piece band. Tyler wishes he could be here. He's actually off severing ties with Deema.
He literally says Deema. Oh my gosh. Like, you know, it's just funny because literally like Pilot fans like always look at every little thing. I know I have my own little theory with the whole color yellow and them, but like, how did no one catch this? I remember watching it whenever it came out and I literally just thought that it was just him making a joke because like, I know Josh doesn't like to talk in front of big crowds, and like, I thought he was just trying to like play some, like just joke off Tyler not being there, but like it being something kind of not funny because he was nervous. And like, when I say not funny, because like nobody understood what he meant. Nobody knew what the frick Deema was. But now watching it now, he's actually like pretty confident talking up there by himself, and it's because it was all rehearsed. And that also means that like they've had this planned for so long, which I mean, blurryface was all, you know, back in like 2015 and whatnot. Like they've definitely had time to like conjure all this up, but like All right, this is the last thing that I have, and it's about just the era in general. What is it gonna be about? I mean, like, we all know that Blurryface was about inner demons, and I think a lot of people kind of predicted that this phase was gonna be a lot about pilots and the boys going through fame, as we all knew from like the whole stressed out debacle when he changed the verse for one show. That definitely has hit them hard. So in April of last year, Tyler tweeted this photo, and I remember when I saw it because I literally kind of took a step back when I realized that it was coming from Tyler's Twitter. I follow Key and Lolly and Mitchell Davis. They're two YouTubers that really like Jim Carrey and post about him frequently. So I literally thought it was one of them two. And then when I saw it was Tyler, I was like, oh, I mean, okay. I mean, like, everyone's allowed to like Jim Carrey, but I was kind of like, it's just kind of weird because it's not like his aesthetic. It doesn't have anything to do with Blurryface. It was like also after they announced Tour de Columbus, which I figured would kind of be like the ending of like Blurryface. I just was like, what does this have to do with anything? But I was like, you know, maybe he's just watching Jim Carrey movies and wanted to tweet it. I don't know. But anyways, it actually has to do with everything. Shocker! They are screen grabs of Jim Carrey from a movie called The Truman Show. Basically, this movie is about a guy named Truman who is a part of some TV show but doesn't know it. I haven't seen it. I really want to watch it now, especially because apparently there's also a theory with this movie for Ariana Grande and her new album. I literally just saw it like right before I was about to make this video. Something about how she used to have one like a screen grab from the movie as her like profile picture, and it looks kind of similar to like her music video or whatever. And I was like, this Pilots one is bigger and wilder, so I don't care, even though I love Ariana Grande. But anyways, it's about a man named Truman whose life is basically a massive TV set. He's part of a show where his every move is captured by hidden cameras, but the catch is that he has no idea. Basically, there's these producers that are like manipulating him. That definitely is just about media and about like artists probably having, you know, people in the business telling them, oh, you need to do this, oh, you need to do that in order to, you know, stay relevant, get famous, whatever, make money, which I'm sure behind the scenes they've dealt with and we don't know about. I definitely think that there's relation to that. There's a whole thread of like the Truman stuff on that Top Today account, so definitely go follow them. But second, with this theory, in the Cancer music video or the lyric video, whatever, we all noticed the All My Sons book stuff around because that has to do with like 21 Pilot's name and the origin of it. But I don't know how many people noticed this. This is a novel called 1984. It's basically about a dystopian world where residents are victims of perpetual war, omnipresent government surveillance, and public manipulation. I've not personally read the book, but I know people who have and they think it's great. But I think the most interesting thing about this is the eye. Here's a picture of the like novel itself. It's a giant eye. And where have we seen eyes? Right here. In the whole debacle of them like going on hiatus, which again, they use the word silence. And what did we talk about earlier? Tower of Silence. So this definitely all connects. It's mind-blowing that they came up with all of this. My whole little theory was, you know, if you guys remember their last like tour vlog series was called Sleepers. I thought like maybe the eye closing was like Blurryface going to sleep because I had a hard time believing that he was fully dead or destroyed or whatever. So I thought it was just kind of like announcing the hiatus. I really didn't think that it would have anything to do with the next era. That I like thought that would be way too soon for them to announce things, but we were all wrong. So basically the eye had more to do with them being watched than sleeping or resting. That was a lot. So anyways, that concludes my video. Basically, here are the questions that I have if you guys can answer any of them. 1, what does the song Heavy Dirty Soul have to do with Keon's and him being good? Is it because Blurryface was defeated in the video, or is Keon's Blurryface? 2, what does East mean, and does it have any relation to the new slashes in the E? Which, I mean, I'm sure we all saw this, but have you guys seen the logo that there's 3 parts to it? The upright line, we all saw in the Vessel era, they would put in between the words 20/1/pilots. And then the slash represents the null that they would put in all the O's. Now, the middle, the connecting one, is the slash and the E's, which I thought was pretty interesting. But I just kind of want to know if it has anything to do with the whole like East is up thing. Because there's definitely like still a whole theory with like a compass, but I haven't like indulged myself into that yet. So 3, who is Clancy? Is this Josh's alter ego? Because I know Blurryface was Tyler's alter ego. Does it have anything to do with the videos that we saw during Emotional Roadshow with the whole don't go on stage thing? And does it have anything to do with Josh not going on hiatus or whatever that theory is? 3, what does the Tower of Silence image have to do with the vessel date, and why isn't there a picture for the blurry face date? 5, I guess the whole like, does the child in the Andre picture have any more meaning besides like what we dived into? 6 was, what does Josh's shirt fully say? But I found that out. And the last one is my own theory. Does the color yellow have anything to do with this next era? Basically, I've had this theory for a while because, as we all know, Josh changed his hair color. Sometimes his drumsticks for like the marching snare would be yellow. There was the whole, you know, mustard yellow hoodie that Tyler had. And then now I'm kind of realizing that maybe the yellow Acura like soccer shirt that Tyler wore during the meet and greet might have meaning. I remember when I saw that, I was like, why would he wear a bright yellow shirt? But I mean, Josh's hair was bright yellow. And now that we know Josh's moon shirt had meaning, does Tyler's shirt have meaning? But anyways, that's all I have. If you guys have any more information, any links you want to share, comment below. I'm linking everything that I used in this video below. And please subscribe. I want to make some more 21 Pilots stuff, especially with this new era coming up. And I'm so excited to expand my collection. If you guys haven't watched my merch collection video, go watch it. I talk about everything I own. And it sadly has not, you know, grown since then because like nothing's happened, and I just want to grow my collection. This is literally only like half of it. See you guys later. Bye.